All right. Can you guys hear me? I'm using a pretty makeshift setup right now, which is just, it's purely the laptop. It's a laptop camera and the laptop speakers, because I didn't think I would end up streaming where I am right now. Actually, I'll show you if I can. Wait. Okay, so this is super makeshift at this point, but I just wanted to show you where I am so you can see kind of what I'm doing. And I'm literally just on my laptop right now. Hello, I'm with you but not with you. Everything sounds fine to me, that's good. Okay, so one thing before we start coding, I wanted to see, because I realized that it's been quite a while since I did 10 fast fingers, since I tested my typing speed, because I did a video where I tried increasing my typing speed, like I think it was, I don't know how long ago that was. YouTube, Cal Holden typing. That was like 3 years ago. So, and it would have been literally, yeah, almost exactly on the day 3 years ago. It's the 26th of June, 2020. Was when I uploaded that video. And I'm just kind of curious to see how fast I am now. So we're gonna do a test on 10 fast fingers, and we'll see how fast I can type, because I feel like I can type relatively fast still, even though I've also feel like I've lost a little bit. So I just wanted to see where I'm at. Code, just joking. Hey Cal, I hope everything is good for you. In the past, you've rented your own small office complex for videos. Did something happen after that, or did the plan unfortunately not work? So actually, before I start doing the typing test, I want to address this, because I feel like a lot of people have been asking me about the studio space. And what happened was, at that stage, I was like very inspired by Linus Tech Tips and by Joe Rogan and all these different like creators that had, even Mr. Beast had this like giant studio space or warehouse almost, where he was making his videos. And well, before you have, if you don't have an office as a YouTuber, then you're basically working from home. Most people are. And I was in that stage where I was thinking like, okay, I have all these lights, I have these cameras, I have everything set up in my like tiny apartment, and I felt like it was getting very crowded and it was kind of difficult, and I was just longing for having some sort of space where I could have everything set up, and I would just have to click like one button and start recording, which I couldn't do in a small apartment. So that kind of inspired me to then go looking for some sort of office space. But what I realized was I enjoy the freedom that you have working from home, and it was kind of, I don't know, maybe the office space wasn't ideal or whatever it was, but I just didn't feel like it was what I wanted, and I felt like it was just sort of a really big expense that didn't provide me, I didn't feel more productive when I was there. I felt less productive, and slowly, like I had the space for like 3 years, and slowly throughout those years I just spent less and less and less time there, and I just ended up feeling like, okay, if I'm not gonna, if I don't feel productive when I'm there, then it doesn't make sense for me to have it. And since I work alone most of the time, I was also completely by myself in this giant warehouse almost. So it just didn't feel like it was what in retrospect, it was a mistake, but it was a mistake that I kind of had to make because I had this dreamlike vision, or like in my mind I had this like feeling of, okay, I really want to try that. I want to have a studio space, and I feel like if I didn't try it, then I would still be like, to this day I would still be thinking like, oh, I want to try that someday. And so I think it was kind of good that I did try it, and I realized that, okay, I don't actually like that, because now I have that experience, even though it's kind of an expensive mistake to make. I now know that, okay, studio spaces is not where I want to be at. What I want to be doing is what I'm doing now, which is being way more mobile and just using like any space, almost like the Tim Ferriss approach, I think, because he does something similar with his podcast, where he doesn't have this giant studio where he does his podcast from. He just tries to scale it down as much as possible, and I think he just has like 2 microphones that he brings with him and some sort of audio recorder, and that's what he uses. So yeah, it was kind of like a bucket list item. Fuck around and find out, Sun Tzu. Yeah, that was pretty much what it was. It was just like me I think it's hard to come up with, or like, it's sometimes hard to determine what is my desire versus what is a desire that I'm sort of like taking on from external sources. So when you're watching things and you're seeing people have these giant studio spaces, it can look really cool, and it can look like something, okay, that would be really nice to have that. And when you get into a position where you could have that, then it's hard to figure out, like, is that what I want, or is that just a desire that's been sort of externally added onto me, or something that I expect that I need, that I actually don't need. And I think that's what I realized, that after doing that, that's not where I want to be. I don't want to be locked down to a specific space that I go to, like an office, every single day. I much rather enjoy the freedom that I have now with just going wherever I want and recording whatever I want. I have one last question. Is YouTube your main source of income, or was it hard for you financially when you did less YouTube? So YouTube is my main source of income. Right now, I'm sort of shifting gears away from sponsorships, because that's what I was doing a lot. And I will take on sponsorships in the future as well, but I will do it from companies that I'm... Like, I had a lot of great sponsors, like Brilliant, for instance, brilliant.org. They're super, like, they're the best sponsor that I've ever worked with. And Samsung, I worked with them. I thought they were really great. But sometimes with certain sponsors, there's limitations that you take on as well, where you may not want... It might be a good product, but it might not be something that I, in retrospect, want to or promote. I don't know if this makes sense, because I feel like it sounds like I promote stuff that I don't believe in, but it's not necessarily that. I feel like I want to scale back to a point where I'm promoting stuff that I use, so that even though it's a great product, if I don't use it myself, I feel like right now I feel like I don't want to promote it because I think I don't know, I like the idea that the stuff that I use and that benefits my life personally is the stuff that I try to share with other people. And if I can get, like, for instance, I'm using the Garmin Phoenix something 6 or something like that. I've been using this watch, and I've been using the 3 before that. I've been using that for like almost 10 years, I think. And so a product like that, I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but a product like that I feel like is more in line with who I am as a person. So if I promote it, it will be a lot easier for me to promote it because I actually use the product. Whereas with other things like, well, I'm trying to think of a product that would be good, but I don't use personally. So let's say like a Google Pixel phone, for instance. Like, I think that's a good phone, and I think that's something that's not, it's not negative to be promoting that, but if I don't use it personally, then I don't feel like I want to be the person promoting it, if that makes sense. So that is now why I'm taking on less sponsors and trying to maybe restructure a little bit and do things in a different way, and maybe find other sources of income that can be more tied to me as a person rather than me promoting other people's stuff, if that makes sense. And I don't necessarily know how to do that at this point, but that's the goal. All right, now let's do a typing test. And I haven't done a typing test since I did that video, I think. Maybe I did a couple after that, but it's been years. So let's see. Give back when day earth long song change might some hard mile like said can small near how together number there between man where does then be made more head life do quick high song him eat or with light or about which quickly part before 50 words per minute. I think that was pretty good for a first test, to be honest, especially since I haven't done it in a long time. I know that's like not fast at all, but the best promo is always something you actually currently use. Yeah, like 50 words per minute. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's maybe better than I've ever gotten on this particular website. 78 words per minute you got. Oh. Yeah, I was on a roll, but then I just lost it out at the end. I feel like I was going pretty fast and then it just snowballed down. Monkey type is awesome. Monkey type. Reject non-essential consent. Do I who to come this might help into part do point should public. I feel like bees and peas I'm really bad at. 93 words per minute, that's pretty good. I started YouTube and made some tutorials. My tutorials reached free code camp, but afterwards I got busy doing freelancing and side project. Can't focus on YouTube anymore. I'm doing YouTube. Any suggestions? I started YouTube, made some tutorials. My tutorials reached. Oh, so you can share your progress on this thing. That's pretty cool. But yeah, AMR, I started YouTube and made some tutorials. My tutorials reached free code camp, but afterwards I got busy doing freelancing on the side and can't focus more on doing YouTube. Any suggestions? I think you should probably focus on the thing that you think gives you the greatest opportunity. Yeah, on the thing that has the most opportunity for you. If you like both of them, like ideally you'd focus on the one that you like the most, but you also have to make money. So unless you're making money already from YouTube, then maybe the freelancing is the way to go. It seems like you were doing like coding type stuff on YouTube as well. So in that case, I think you like to code and you like to do that stuff. So then the more lucrative thing, if you're not already making money from YouTube, then it's probably going to be to do the freelancing, unless you have some sort of strategy where you can go to like making courses that you can then sell to some people and maybe make money from that. I don't know. I can't break code double digits for 2 minutes. No. You have to drop bad habits to improve, which means you need to go slower before you get faster. Yeah, I feel like what I need to do now, because when I did the how do you redo the test? Okay, so when I practiced for the video of like how to type faster, the way that you're supposed to type P is with your pinky, and the way that you're supposed to type B is with your pointer finger of the left hand. But what I'm doing now is I think I'm using, I don't know what I'm using to type P actually. Small, mid, same, what, off, home, new, open. Okay, I'm using my ring finger to type P at this point, which I don't know when I picked up that habit, but for some reason that's what I picked up. And I'm using my right hand to type B, which you're supposed to use the left hand. So that stuff I need to kind of work on. And right now I think I'm at the stage where I'm getting quite fast, or relatively fast. And also like I'm cementing this habit of using the wrong finger for the wrong letter or the key. I don't ever use my left pinky except for shift. Oh, your left pinky, you never use that. I use that all the time for Q. Like on the left hand I use it all the time, like for A, Q and Z. Is 14 your word per minute? Yeah, 14 is my words per minute. No, it probably might not be much better than that, but I got 50 just before. What should I learn from Python to learn OpenCV and computer vision? What do I need? I don't know. I've never, or maybe once I've worked with OpenCV or some sort of like AI or machine learning library, but not really my area of expertise, unfortunately. Maybe try one vid a month, showcase what you're building and what you learn, maybe building in public. I'm a fresh computer science grad. Tips for landing a first job in data science. And do you know how long it takes to land a first technical role? No. Sorry, I don't really know about that, but generally speaking, if you want to be in some sort of programming, software engineering type job, I feel like it's not too difficult if you do have some sort of degree, which you say that you have. So I couldn't imagine that it would be too difficult, but 76 words per minute, started at like 30 minutes or 30 words per minute. Typing club. I learn on Typing Club if anyone is interested. Typing Club. Typing Club. Oh, okay. I know there's like typing things that you can go to as well, where there's for code, so you can specifically practice how to code. Did not know that you're streaming also. You were on one of the reasons I started to create development content. Oh, nice. Where can I find inspiration for UI? I always go to Pinterest. I feel like Pinterest is the best place to just find UI inspiration. Although I haven't looked into it, so there may be better places now, but I think Pinterest almost has a monopoly on this sort of stuff. Are you using a regular keyboard? My touch typing with proper technique made much more sense when I got an ortholinear keyboard. The stagger on normal keyboards really doesn't make any sense and just makes it harder. Okay. Ortholinear keyboard. Ah, is that the separator ones? My dad uses this. Not this specific one, but like one like this. And I never, I always didn't understand why he was using this. And I don't think he even understands it himself. I think he just got sold one day on like the ergonomics of this being better. And then he just started using it. But the problem is that when I was living at home, if he was in the basement, I could hear him typing on the other floor because he basically uses his pinky fingers like this, and he just smashes the buttons or the keys. So he has a really, I guess, good keyboard for typing fast, but he does not know how to use it at all. Ah, that would be awesome. If there was like a... So you're asking if there's any website to learn a shortcut for Vim, or like how to learn Vim using some sort of website. That would be a really cool thing if there was. Like something that gamifies Vim and learning how to use Vim. Game for learning Vim. Interactive Vim practice. Sponsored, but we'll press it anyway. Vim Adventures. Okay. Gamified Vim learning. Vim Adventures. Okay. Let's see what this is. Because I am kind of interested. I want to do a week again of just doing Vim and then trying to learn it. Okay. K, J, K. Okay. This. I mean, this is probably really good practice because I can't even move here. Yippee! Oh, okay. How did you... Okay.
Yippee! Yippee!
Hooray, can't believe it. The shadowy cursor has come at last. Soon the old prophecy will be fulfilled. Okay, and then down was J. it's so difficult to, like, it makes sense that J would be down, because like I think there's some explanation of Vim where they say that like J almost looks like an arrow pointing downwards, but it's still like you sort of expect J to be left and L to be right and K to be up, and H could be down, but H is actually left. So now I mean, this is probably really good practice actually. Remember, words are not words. There's a built-in help system in this game if you ever need full explanation and example of what a key does or how it's used. Type help followed by the key. For example, try help J. Okay, help J. J. Down or count lines down. When moving down to a shorter line, if the cursor can't stay in the same column, the column will be remembered to be restored when a subsequent line becomes long enough. What? If the cursor can't stay in the same column, the column will be remembered to be restored when a subsequent line. Okay. In the game, when not on a text area, water denote the end of a line. Okay, I don't quite understand that sentence, but it wouldn't be a Cal stream if it didn't get off topic. Yeah, it's getting off topic really quick. Far too many people don't know how to properly command the Karen, and then they go and learn Vim and go from total noob to competent and attribute it all to Vim. And while I think Vim is powerful and everyone should learn it, it's also way overhyped. Like, very few people seem to know that what Control Shift Delete and Control Shift Backspace do, or Shift Insert. Yeah, I feel like I agree with the fact that I think Vim is probably overhyped, in the sense that, like, because it has that barrier to entry thing, which I think, because it has a barrier to entry, it sort of becomes this tribe mentality almost, where people that do know how to use it what would it be like? It's almost like an what would you call that, like the next level of programming, because programming is already something that most people don't understand how to do and how it works. And then on top of that, you add another layer of something that even programmers don't understand how it works. So programmers generally don't understand how Vim works in detail. And so if you're a really good Vim user, then you have like almost this upper hand on people that already know something that most people don't know. So you're like, I think it becomes this thing where it feels like you're even, yeah, it's like you're on this next level compared to people that are already on the next level. So you're like a level above that. And then you add on to that someone that's using Arch Linux, and you have this super user who's like, I don't know, that you can't really even talk to. because they're so powerful. I do have a Discord server, but it's not, I don't use it personally because I'm not very used to using Discord, so I don't tend to go in there. But there is one, I think, and I don't know if it's still active because I don't, like I said, I just don't use it. I'm creating an app where users can find and raise requests for joining in apartment or hostel pages, and also app homepage shows can. I assume that if you know Vim very well, then you don't need the mouse whatsoever and you can code faster. I think that's true, but like Xmetrics says here, that it could also be like a negative in that so many hardcore Vim users are absolutely useless outside of Vim, or when an app doesn't have Vim motions or Vim mode. They're crippled or can't be proficient. And I think that could be true too. Like if you're so used to these like Vim commands, because I remember when I used it a lot, if I'd go into like VS Code, then I would type in these, like I would automatically press escape and then colon and I don't know, SQ or whatever it is to save. And I would do that all the time, like constantly through, and I was like, it would just mess up my experience using VS Code. So I do think that that's the case, and you might end up actually being unable to use most other things. But again, I think Vim is available in almost every system pretty easily, so you could probably get it. But yeah, I guess Vim Adventures might be something that I could try to get more used to using the cursor or using the IDE or text editor. To reach the treasure chest, you should know words are separated by spaces. You need W, E, and B buttons, capitals, to navigate words. Okay. All right. Either way, we're going to get back to the actual app, and the goal today is to get this thing to work, because last time we or one of you guys actually helped me out and got this system to work. So where you can type in tags and things, and it will actually just separate all the words into I don't know what you'd call this, but whatever this is. And the idea is that we want to be able to type in like a task name, and that will then become something that will get added here. So now we need to figure out how to use this. I just want to see what happens if we do that, because the idea is that if you type in an @ So at project, then that should be then that is then what a project looks like. And then if you type in a hashtag, that becomes a tag, and if you type in nothing, then that becomes a task. So if it has nothing in front of it, then it's a task. If it has a hashtag in front of it, it's a tag. If it has an at in front of it, it's a project. So now we're printing Flutter Campus. Okay. So these are the initial tags, and then we can remove them because we don't want to have any initial tags. Tags on tag, print tag, tags.add tag. Okay, we'll stop printing stuff. And then we'll say the color picker is this thing. Okay. Okay, Hof MC. You're making an app. How much will be in-app price for premium? I'm not really sure. I don't know if this app will cost anything or how I will do that. My idea is to maybe use apps as merch, sort of. So instead of me creating a t-shirt, which I can still do, and I have some ideas for that, but instead of me doing that, I feel like apps would be a more in line with my YouTube channel and me as a person way to make money for the channel, if that makes sense. So I could have a small price on the apps that I make, and then that would be a way for me to again move away from sponsors a little bit and move into making money from my own things. But I don't know how I'm going to price it. I have an idea, which is that potentially I would use some sort of like Patreon system, where if you're subscribed to the Patreon, then you get access to every app that I make for free, or if you're subscribed to the Patreon, you get access to everything. So if I make 100 apps, you'd get access to all of them for whatever fee it is on the Patreon. But I don't know what that fee should be and how much. I don't want it to be too much, but I don't know. I haven't thought of it that much. First time seeing you on Twitch. Have you live? I'm also making some automatizations. Good live motivation. Have you ever had to deal with push notifications in your app? How do you dealt with that using Firebase? No, I haven't done that actually. I typically hate notifications of any kind, so I haven't tried to implement it in my own apps. I remember back a while ago, it was like the stock standard or the industry standard was like to create notifications to notify the user to keep using the app. I also want to move away from that. I don't want to create apps that are meant to be used, if that makes sense. I don't want to create apps that are meant for the user to spend time in the apps, if that makes sense. I want to create apps that are useful tools, but the idea shouldn't be that you should spend all your days like wasting away inside my app. It should just be something that you, when you open up your phone, you go into the app and you start something, then you take away the app and you do whatever you want to do in real life. So I think notifications, I don't know how to use them really, and I haven't tried. But now we're going to try to figure out this thing, because we want to send the tags back. Text field tags. Okay, so we're going to look at the package text field tags. So this is the package that we're using. And what I want to do is I want to be able to set the color here. I want the user to be able to set the color. So the question is, how do we do that? Okay, color here. Tag styler, tag styler, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we don't need this button, I don't think. No, print enter tags. We're gonna remove that. We're gonna run it. Okay, that's gone. Bottom overflow by 30 pixels. And let's say text style, color picker, okay. So the text style should be this. Okay. But there's still a border. Oh. colors dot transparent. Where do we set the color of the text field? Okay, the language is Dart. Okay, icon cancel. Okay, so this one is that color, so we're gonna set that color to be the app color. So app color dark dot primary color, I think. So tag. Okay, that then should look pretty good. But we're also going to do why don't you use React Native instead? Better, especially if you have React Web Dev background. Yeah, I don't have any background in web development, so I don't, like HTML and CSS is still something that I haven't gotten into, so I would just be very slow. That's why I use Flutter. Cancel icon, okay. Now why is the border, why do we have a border? 0. We still get a border around this text field though. What if we set the color to be colors dot red, just to see if we can even change the color of it. Okay, so it turns out we can't change the color of it, which means that this is not where we change the color. Border. Okay. Let's see if they have an example where they change the color of the border. Like here, the color of the border is something else. So why? What if we remove it? box decoration. Border radius. I don't like it. Okay. Okay, it's the border of the actual tags. Okay. Okay, I don't really understand how to change the color of the border for this, because it just doesn't seem like it's possible. 30. I just want to, because I think that is actually the border of the tags. So if a tag is like this, as you see now it's rounded, and then if we set it to 0 again, we get a square tag like that. But I think we want it to be a bit rounded, because I think that looks kind of nice. But I want the actual text field to not pixels. I don't really know what's overflowing here. Okay, dynamic tag button dot initial tags, and then okay, so I'm trying to figure out dynamic tag data. Apparently it seems like we don't have that. Object or model. So I'm trying to think, where does that come from? So let's see, what if we change it to be 2.0.0. Okay. Okay, I'm not really sure what to do here. So task, add tag. So the thing is, here we have 3 as far as I can see. Dynamic tag data or initial tags, where the button is where the color of it is set. But here it seems like you can add several and the color will be set dynamically, or like other colors are added. Maybe this is not an example of just this. Maybe this is like a shortened example and they have lots of other colors as well for them. But my idea is I want the user to be able to set the color of all the things that they add, which right now I don't think is possible. App color, or accent color. Tag, name, project, hashtag tags. Okay. And I also want the border of this text field to not be there because I don't think it looks very good. But let's start by removing the bottom overflowed by 30 pixels thing. On tag. Initial tags. Let's see what happens if we copy the example and then create copied tag field. And see what happens. Dynamic tag controller. And then this, and we'll update it to the most recent one, which is 3.01. Hey, who's done the designing of the app? I've actually done the design of the app. So this beautiful design that you see here is my own making. When are you going to go back to normal videos? Not sure when I'll go back, probably in September maybe. Right now I just want to get make as much progress as I can on this app. Okay. Now let's see, copy the tag field, color. It's kind of interesting that the example has a bunch of errors in it. Okay, let's see if my widget will work. Time entry, this error, if you call set state on an object while So I feel like there's a problem with this part here, because right now we're returning a text field. But if we return the text field, then all we'll get is that text field, which doesn't really do anything, because it's just a text field object. So I feel like, how is this supposed to work? Text field tags, text field tags controller, dynamic controller, text field tags controller. Because now this is just a separate text field, dynamic colors. Yeah, I'm trying to do dynamic colors. I want to be able to set the colors of each tag as I add it in. So if I say at project, then I want to be able to set the color of this myself, and I don't want the app to set it for me. But right now, this does not seem to be working. But it does work somewhat okay if we just uncomment everything. And then use the previous version. Then all of a sudden it works. So home. But it doesn't do, there's a lot of things that it just doesn't do for us. So tag, and we can't really set the color as far as I understand ourselves. So ideally, I want to somewhere in here be able to set the color. So this color, I want to be able to set tag styler. Tag styler, text padding, text cancellation, type writing, type mode, type declaration. There a text field in Flutter. How do you even explain this to ChatGPT? Creates word color input, add word, blah, blah, blah. Maybe let's try here. And then go actually, let's try something. Let's see where the errors in this disappears. And so I'm going to update the package version by version and see where the errors disappear. If the errors disappear anywhere before the latest version, then maybe that could work. So let's do 2. 2.0.0. Okay, still doesn't disappear. So then we'll see the next version. We'll try 2.02. 2. Let's just try 3 and see what happens. 3.0.0. Wait, someone's knocking on the door. All right, I'm back. Some sort of like electrician came here, but it was the wrong house. Okay, so still doesn't do what we want, I guess. No. All right, so I'm gonna have to give up on this. This package, I think, and I'm gonna have to do it myself. In which case, I think we're just gonna have to do the or use what I had before, which is this. So color picker text field, and that's what we'll have here. Let's see what we need. So we need controller and add. So controller, and then add color text, add. Where is that method? Okay, remove that, remove that, and then go to the pub spec as well, and we're gonna have to remove this. So this is what we have now, which is where you just type in task and then space, and then you can set the color of that task, like so, and then at project space, and then you can set the color of that to be purple, and then we start the timer, and we stop the timer, and we press save, and then we should have something down here, which we do, but actually let's just do cal and then purple and then at cal. Just to make sure that we can actually set the start time as 10 and then save. Okay, so now you can see that we set the purple, the project is now colored purple, and cal is the task, and the time is 1 hour and 21 seconds. All right, so now you can do everything that I think we want the user to be able to do. I guess we want to remove something, so we want to remove time tracker. Change and because right now we display the at, and if we do a hashtag tag and then set that to be that, and then do at get it space yellow, and we start, and then we stop, and then we save. So we get the actual, we get a hashtag in front of the text, but we want to remove that so we only get the text and not the symbol in front of it. So the way to do that, I think, is to do the stop time entry. If new color, then reset the color of all previous. Okay. Project IDs. Project name. So here we want to remove something from, so can I remove at from the project if it has an and then create, where it creates tags, we need to do the same thing. So create tag, we'll do here, tag name equals name, and then we'll replace the hashtag. Okay. I'm going to just delete the database as well so that we don't have all this extra stuff that we don't, or all these extra tasks or time entries that we don't really care about. Okay, and then run it from the start. Pull up and do task. And we want this to be this color. And then at project. And we want the project to be maybe something like that. And then a tag to be tag yellow. Okay. And the start time was 9:50 or 49. Then we start the timer, stop the timer, save. Why doesn't it save now? Okay. Task, and the color of that is this, and then at project space, and the color of this is going to be blue. Right now fixing a bug about food ordering. Okay. Hashtag tag. And now that works. But why didn't it work before? Okay, so then we'll do new task. And that will be green. And then we'll do new project space, and that will be black. And then we'll do test, hashtag tags. And that will be our beautiful red. And then we'll set the start time to be 9. Okay, save. Now it works. Not really sure why it didn't work before, but now it seems to work. Does it? Task space that at pro. Wait, no. Task and then at project. Hashtag tags. Not really sure what is happening here, but I feel like the colors don't set the way that they should. Task, got it, and then at project, yes, and hashtag tag, yes. Start time 9, okay, start, stop, save, and now saving doesn't work. I'm not really sure what the bug is at this point. Because I think now if I run it at project, hashtag tag, and then set the time to be this. I think we can save it, which we can. And if I do another one, new task, now everyone sees that we set the color to be red, and then new project, we set the color to be red, tag, new tag, and we set the color to be red again. And we set the start time to be 9:55, okay, and then we save it. The color is the same as this color. Why is that? Time tracker widget.dart, time tracker inkwell. Okay, so time tracker widget.dart 379, time tracker widget.dart. $379. Reset the timer. If start times does length is equal to end times dot length and end times is not empty. Could that be an issue? Okay, task, color, project, color, and then tag color. Set the start time to be 9. Okay. And then save. Okay, it seems like we fixed that bug. So now I think when we press save, the timer resets, but the start time here does not reset. So what happened here? 387. So this is where the thing breaks now. But why does it break? Maybe that will fix it. So we'll try to repeat what we just did, exactly the way that we did it, so that we can exclude, or basically just test this. Okay, now we'll run it, and we'll go task, got it, project, got it, tag, got it. And then we'll reset the time to be 9, and then save. Okay, we still get an error, and we still get it at 387. So it seems like the timer.cancel thing is a problem. But let's see, I just want to see if we can set a new task, and we'll do that. At project. And then oh, I think I know what the problem is. So I think what's happening is that when we do that, we haven't reset. Yeah, I think that's what the problem is. Okay, so for the color picker, I think we don't reset these lists to be empty. So I think they're still containing stuff, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna print here, print length, tasks, tags.length. No, wait, not here. In the time entry page, the time tracker page. So when we change the color, add color in text, tasks, if text project colors.add color. Okay, so if we print the length of, so print print length project project colors dot length. Okay, so when we print that, what I think will happen is we'll get a list that is really long, and that shouldn't be as long. So I'm just gonna do a couple things and then we'll see if I'm right. So now if we do task, set that color, project, set that color, and then tag, set that color. Okay, and then we'll set the start time to be 9. Okay, and then save. So now we've set 1, and if we open up again and do the same thing, so we do task name, which is a new task, and we set the color to be this. If I do at project now, project blah blah blah, this is a new project, and we only have 2 things in this list. But when I press space and I set the color of this, the length of our project's colors list is 2, which means that we have 2 colors in this list. So it's not reset. Don't know if this makes too much sense to you, but the thing that happens is that once we've already saved, well, once we pressed save here, so we start that and then save. Once we press save, the color or how do I explain it? So once I press save, this text field should now be empty in terms of like the colors that exist here. But it actually still contains these 2 colors and the next color that I've set. So if I do at project 3 and then press space, we'll get a 3 here, I think. Yeah, we'll get a 3, which this number should actually be 1, because we should only have 1 color in this list, because we're printing how many colors we have in the project colors list. So that means that we're not resetting stop time entry. We're not resetting reset lists, so project colors equals empty, and task colors equals an empty list, and tag colors equals an empty list. Now we should have fixed that problem. So now we delete the database again, and then reintroduce it. Start task, got it, project, tag, start the timer, stop the timer, save. Okay. And then we do it again, task, new, got it, at new project, and then new tag. Now we should, if everything works, we should get a new color here, which should be red, which we do. So that now works. Great. The next thing is to reset this time as soon as something has been added here, because now the start time says that it's 9:07, which it shouldn't say. So wherever that is, time setter widget. So maybe so I think the best way to do that is to create a time setter widget. So I think the best way to do that is to use a time setter widget that we actually create up here instead. So time setter widget, time setter widget equals this. Okay, and then what we do is we do this down in this set time set start. So in this one, we'll then create at the end time setter widget equals a new time setter widget. So that if we do this, where we set the start time to be 9, and then task, and then test, oh, got it, and then test, got it, and then got it, tag, got it. So now it's 9:11 there, and if we press save, this should reset to the current time, which is 12:12 p.m. So save, and then we pull up, and that did not reset, which I don't know why. But I think it might be due to this 391. 391. So it might be due to this thing. Reset timer. Potentially when resetting the timer, it is not initialized, causing the error. Resetting the timer, it's not initialized. That could be the case. Okay. Actually, I just realized we don't need that because we have a stop timer. We'll call that. Okay. And then go look for the errors. Stop timer. Start timer. Timer. Maybe that's the way to do it. So we'll try to replicate the error again by doing this. Run, pull that up. Oh wait. So now we're replicating it. And what should happen is if we type in task, set the color, and then project, and then tag, and then we set the time to be this, and okay, and then press save. We get an error, but we still get that error. 389. What's the name of the song that's playing? I don't really know what the name of the song that's playing is, and I'm not sure how to check. I have this folder here, and this is the music that I'm playing. So it's gonna be one of these songs. I don't know which one, but one of them. Serious question. Do you sometimes think you might be wasting time working on this project? Or do you find genuine meaning and purpose in it? I think what I've realized is that I think we all need to do something of some kind, and I really like the process of programming and building an app and like all of this stuff, even though it's draining at times and it's difficult, and sometimes it kind of sucks when you get stuck on an error and you just don't know how to fix it. I do derive like genuine fulfillment out of it, and it's something that I would do. Like I would enjoy this just as much if I did it just on my own, and that's what I realized in like January or February or something of this year, because I just came up with this idea for like a network monitoring automation, and at that time I wasn't filming any programming videos, so I was just like, wait, let me try using this and try doing this. And I tried using ChatGPT as well to help me do it, and all of a sudden I'd spent like 8 or 10 hours or something in one day just working on that tool. And I realized that like I genuinely enjoyed that so much that it's like, if there's one thing that I'm gonna do that's gonna give me purpose and me like some sort of genuine fulfillment that also has potential to generate some sort of income for me, then programming is going to be the thing. Maybe I'll realize something else in the future, but for now that's what I feel like. And so even though this particular project is never going to be a waste of time, because I get better at programming, I get better at building apps, So even if this app isn't anything amazing, and I don't think it is anything amazing, it's still just like Tim Ferriss has this thing where he says that if you commit to something, or if you start doing something, some sort of project, then you can look at it in, I don't know how he explains it, but it's something like when he started a podcast, the idea was that even if the podcast fails and they don't get any views or downloads or listens, he will still develop skills in terms of like being able to talk to people, and he'll also develop connections with people that he might be interested in talking to. So even if the one part of that project fails, he still develops skills and gets a lot out of it anyway. So it really didn't matter if anyone listened to the podcast. And it's the same thing here. I feel like it doesn't really matter if you guys watch these live streams or not. It's going to be just an added benefit if people watch it, but either way, I'm still going to get better at building apps, and I'm going to develop that skill, which is super useful, and it's going to help me in the future with other things that I might want to do. So it's like a fail-safe thing for me, I feel like. Even if the app doesn't do well, or if no one wants it, I still develop skills that are going to be useful outside of this particular app. Without knowing Flutter, is the timer null? Well, let's check that actually. But yeah, I hope that was a good answer to that question. If timer is equal to null. Oh, sorry. The operand can't be null, so it's always going to be false. Start timer. So let's see where we do start the timer. Start timer. Hi Cal, know you from YouTube, didn't know you were also streaming. Yeah, I'm streaming now. Cal, do you know the Mina Packet app by chance? Mina Paket. Yeah? Yeah, it's a time managing app that I'm building, a time tracker sort of thing. I use timers a lot. So if I'm working on something, I'll set a timer like, okay, I'm going to be working for 2 hours. So I'll start the timer. And I've been doing that for such a long time now that it's just second hand, or second nature to me. Second hand. And I just feel like it'd be really nice to have some sort of stats for the timers that I set. So I could see like, okay, I've spent this much time working on this thing, and I've spent this much time working on this thing. And there are lots of time tracking apps out there, but they don't allow you to track in the way that I want to track. And so I'm building it myself. I'm looking for the camera, but I forget that it's right there. I only asked about Minapagit because I know you live in Nordics and the app is quite big there. I'm the lead dev on it. Oh, what? That's really cool. Yeah, I use that app a lot, actually. I just didn't understand, like I was expecting English when I was reading it, so I did not know what it was, but that's awesome. Where is the timer instantiated? Yeah, the timer seems to be, I mean, it's created here, and this is where I think that's where yeah, timer. Yeah, the toggle app, I looked at that, but it's not able to do what I want. It's not nearly, I don't know what you call this, but like customizable enough. So with the toggle app, you can, I think you can track tasks and then you can see stats for tasks, but that's all that you can see. You can't see stats for like combinations of tasks. So let's say that the way that I try to explain this is, what if I have a project that is like YouTube? For instance, we can take this streaming and coding thing. So right now, what am I actually doing? Am I doing YouTube? Am I coding? Am I streaming? I mean, like, what of those tasks would you say that I'm doing right now? I'm doing all three actually, and I might even like Twitch as well, like I'm streaming on Twitch. So there's 4 tasks potentially that I'm doing. And what if I wanted to then go into the app and see, okay, how much time have I spent working on Twitch this week? Then I would either have to track this whole thing that I'm doing right now as just Twitch, or I would have to track it as something else, and like, maybe I want to see how much time I spent on Twitch coding, because maybe I'm doing 2 things on Twitch. Maybe I'm gaming on Twitch and coding. So I'm doing 2 tasks in one project or category of tasks, if that makes sense. And so the way that I want the app to work is I want to be able to filter it in any sort of way, or combine tasks in any sort of way that I want. So for instance, I could see like, this is how much time I spent working on YouTube this month, and then I want to see, okay, how much time did I spend working on YouTube and coding this month, and I can see a specific section just for that. And then I could separate it down even further and be like, okay, how much time did I spend on YouTube editing, or how much time did I spend on YouTube editing and programming? And that's not something that's available, and I couldn't find that in any app that was out there. So that's why I'm building this app, and it's literally just so that I can track my own time in a way that I wasn't able to do in any other app. Do you know when you will release your next video? I'm not really sure when I'll do that. I'm planning to take a full month of just what do you call it, vacation vacation for a month during July. So I'll be doing absolutely nothing but just like sailing and enjoying summer for 1 month, and then I'll come back in August and I'll continue streaming. And then I want to do like summarized videos. So I was doing the vlogs. If we go to my YouTube channel, we can see here that I was doing these like day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8. And these were like summarization videos where I summarized what I had done during the week in one video. And what I'm thinking that I'll do when I come back is I'll stream for 3 days, and then I'll film those days as well. Like right now you see what I do when I code and I stream, but then the rest of the day you don't get to follow along. So the idea is that I will film the rest of my days and then I'll combine that into one video that I produce or publish every week. And for the people that then join the streams, you can see the full day that I had, and you can get an insight into like whatever else I did during that day. And for the people that just watch those videos, they might be interested in seeing, okay, what did he code during day 5 or day 3, and then they can go to the live streams and watch that and see the specific details of it. That's kind of the idea, but we'll see once I get back. I might also do some like these type of videos where I actually do concepts, because I have some ideas for that as well. But yeah, I don't know when the next video is going to be out, but hopefully soon. Right now I really enjoy the streaming thing. I feel like it's very efficient. Okay. So when I stop the timer here, for some reason the code breaks. But why does it break? If start times of length equals 1. Maybe I need to do that. I like Waka time, but it automatically picks up coding versus debugging versus browsing. I get nice stats like, yeah, I know there's like automatic time tracking apps. The only problem with timers and apps is you have to remember to use them, start them. I often forget to start workout on my watch when doing lifts. Yeah, there is that problem with it, and I can't really fix that, because I think the problem with that is maybe just habit, and habit I think comes from just wanting to do something. So if it's not super important to you or you're not super interested in it, then yeah, you're probably gonna forget to look at this stuff. Okay, so it seems like when you don't press the start button here and the stop button, when you haven't pressed any of them, then this error occurs. So why does it occur in that case? When you haven't pressed any of that, this error occurs. Stop time entry, controller.post. So if I do this, and then I do at project, late initialization, timer has not been initialized. Okay, so that is the error. Do we need to do this? Oh, okay. What? So that, and then at got it. Set the start time to be 9. Okay. Save. Seems like it did not, the error doesn't happen anymore. The only thing is that this doesn't reset. I think that should fix it. So task. And then at, do at, save, pull it up, okay. It does not fix it. Okay. Okay, maybe that is where we should do it. So, da-da-da, and then at, got it, at, da-da. It doesn't reset that, which I don't like. And there seems to be some sort of bug that just does not like us. Okay. Unhandled set state after dispose, time entry state, lifecycle state defunct. Okay, let's copy this and ask Copilot if they can fix it. Okay. Apply these practices to your specific case. Cancel ongoing operation. Dispose if you have timers, streams, subscriptions, or any other asynchronous. Yeah, it's definitely not ideal to have files that are just like 500 or 800 almost lines of code. And I don't know, I feel like refactoring is something that sometimes feels... I mean, it is very productive, but it's something that you... It's sort of this pseudo-productive thing, I feel like, where it's easy to end up refactoring a lot and trying to make things more efficient, but then the question is that really making progress towards the thing that you want to get done? Because I think right now I want to get something out there. I want to publish just a base bare bones version of the app. And for that to happen, I don't think refactoring is super productive. The most productive thing is going to be to write more code. And then, but then there is the balance between, like, if you just do that, if you just write more and more code, then you might get to a point where you now have no ability to keep track of things or remember where things were or how you thought about things. And it's very hard to read through this code because it's hard now to, it's easy because I remember most of the things I've written, or a lot of it at least. And so because I'm working on this specific page, I do remember most of the things I need to look for. But if I come back to this in a year, then I think this will be a mess to try to read through and understand. So it's definitely like there's a give and take, or there's a balance between refactoring versus actually producing, I think. And I don't really know where to or when to refactor versus when to actually to just code. But I guess when you have a file that's 800 lines of code, it's probably time to start refactoring. But now something is happening where the colors don't change anymore. Which I don't know why that is. Test. Test. And now it changes. And now I cannot save. Not really sure. Okay. What to do? When a button is pressed in a parent widget, I want the child widget's text to change. Okay, so maybe that's how we do it. Time tracker widget. Time setter. And then we'll do time, and then we'll go to the time setter widget. Clock. Final date. Time. Required this dot selected date. Okay. Select the date. And then final date time, select the date. required. Okay, and then we'll go here and we'll say select the date, and we'll do we'll see where this is used. Okay, so it's either going to be the start time or it's going to be datetime.now, depending on which one exists or if the start time has been set. And when we press save, then we want the start time to be set. Start time equals, no, wait. I'm trying to think where we want to set this. Because one idea would be to set it when we press save, but then what will happen is the time will be the, wait, let's try that. Start time equals date time dot now. So if we set that to be 9, just to test this, task new, and then we want the color to be that, and then at project new. Okay, and then we press save. That is now 0 minutes and 0 seconds. Perfect. And that did not reset at all. What the f... Why not? So time setter widget, something happened here. Select the date. Select the date. If pick does not equal null, select the date. Clock format. What if we set the state? I don't really like to set states because it just doesn't always make sense to do that, but we're gonna do it anyway. So, it's so annoying. Okay. Right, I don't really understand what is happening. Time setter widget. If pick does not equal null. Okay, so we're gonna try just printing the selected time to see if it has reset, because maybe it has. Print selected date. If it's reset, then we can tackle that problem instead. Okay, 9, okay, and then press save. Make sure to do the correct one. So this is where we're supposed to print it. Task, and then blah blah blah. Code. That is the date. Set it, save it, pull it up, and press that button again. Okay, now it's that date, so that means that it has not reset. 2024 6/24. So that means that whatever happens, it doesn't really reset. Select the date. So this seems to mean that it doesn't do what this says that it should. Okay. Why doesn't the selected date update when the parent widget updates the selected date? Okay, so it seems like it didn't do anything. That's so frustrating. Look at the code for picked. Time of day. Oh, I don't know. I don't think this needs to reset because here is the clock, which is actually a string, and the string is what's displayed on the button. So clock here is then displayed as the format. So the clock is the text, but the thing is that, so the text could be something that we need to reset, or we could pass that from the parent widget. But the problem is that it doesn't matter if we pass a different text here, because if the text is different, the text is based on the selected date. So I mean, we need this to be changed, which right now it just doesn't change. Which I don't know why it doesn't change. Time tracker widget, start time. What if we do start time equals yeah, it just doesn't want to update this for some reason. 16GB MacBook 1 Pro. Can that run mobile dev smoothly? Yes, it can. I think that's exactly what I have. I don't really understand. Okay, I don't understand Copilot at some point. Like, I guess they... No, wait. Discard. Modify using to Copilot. Make the start time update in the reset timer method. Where did it make the change though? Like it literally, it doesn't do anything. accept. It adds a parenthesis. That's what it does. Okay, let's chat with it. Where is the onSave function? Wait. Can you... When the timer is reset in another widget, e.g. task input widget, you can use shared state management solution. For simplicity, let's use a callback function when pressed on carry code. Will be triggered when the timer is reset, updating the state of the parent in the parent widget, which in turn passes the time. Okay, so reset start time, set start time, blah blah blah. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. And then pass task input widget on whichever widget has the functionality to reset the timer. What? Okay. Task input, you add a parameter to accept the callback function when the timer is reset and the action is triggered. On reset timer, on reset timer, blah blah blah. Okay, it doesn't seem like it understands it, I don't think. Because that's what I'm doing here, resetting the start time, and then that should update this, which then goes into the time setter widget and comes in here, and then it moves into this place, and then format time, datetime.now, unless the clock has something in it. But still, when we press it, we can print the selected date, and it prints nothing. Oh. Because now if we print the date, we get the whatever time it is. And then we do blah blah blah. Start, stop, save. And it still says 9:21, and if we press it, it says 9:21 still. Let's set it to 10:21. Task, space. Save. And now we get a bunch of errors. Timer has not been initialized. 10:21 it says. If we press that, we still get 10:21. So we don't update the freaking date. Why not? So the feature that I'm trying to implement is this timer here thing, where you can set the start time. So I can set the start time to be whatever. And the idea is that once I press save, or I exit, well, once I press save, so task, and then space, and then at blah blah blah. If I press save, then this should update to, this should then change to be the current time, because if I've saved a task, then this should reset to the current time. Right now it sets to whatever time I set last, which doesn't really make sense for it to do. So yeah, I need that to reset, and the way to do that, apparently, according to our little copilot, is to have the parent widget have some sort of set state function that updates a date time, and then to create a widget that takes that date time as a variable. So that when you then update it here in the reset start time function, then it will update in the child widget as well, which is what I'm trying to do, but it doesn't work. Because here we have the date, select the date that we get, and here, without doing anything to it, we just print the selected date. It could be a state issue. I don't know how many different types of issues could be found in Flutter, or what types are common. Maybe state issues are pretty common. I feel like they are. But I feel like my brain is just not working properly. Like, I feel like this will be something that I could solve if I just come in with fresh eyes, but right now it doesn't seem like I can figure it out. selected date is here. And then time tracker widget. Sets the start time. Reset the counter. On line 8, you are setting a current date time. A quick climbing session probably says, yeah, it probably would. On line 8, you're setting a current date time. Yeah, so basically resetting the date as soon as the widget has been pressed or the save button has been pressed. So as soon as the task has been saved, then I'm resetting the time to be now. But this just doesn't update. So string title, maybe we'll try to change the title just to see if we can change anything. So here the title will be just test title. And we'll go up here and we'll do string test title equals start time. Okay, and then when we reset the counter, we'll set the test title to be equal to blah blah. Okay, so that should then reset the text. If we do task space color project space color, got it, set the time to be this. Okay, so now you can see that it says start time here. If we press save, it should then change to something else, but it doesn't. It stays exactly the same. Can you just reassign the selected date to the current time? That's exactly what I'm trying to do. But the problem is that I can't do it unless the user presses the save button. Because unless if the user doesn't press save here, then how do I know that I need to reset this time? Because unless the user has pressed save, they're not done with the task. So the only time, I think at least, as far as I understand it, the only time that this can be reset is after the user is like, okay, I'm done, now I'll save. So yeah. Can you show the save function? Well, the save function is a lot of stuff. So here is the on pressed when you press save, and we have all of this stuff happening. And this is where we actually save the time entry into the database. And this is where we reset the counter, which is then where the date time console log, which is being called. Well, this will be called. So we can print should reset the date. at project. And then we'll set this. So now when we press save, it should reset the date. And then we go up and it still says 7:30. So it did not reset anything. None of this happens. Okay. So we can press print if 1 and then print if 2, print if 2. And we'll see which one's called. Trial at project. So if 2 was called then. So I haven't used anything for authorization yet. The user is not going to have to log into the app is the idea. If 2 was being called, end time, stop time and trace, stop time. Can you only run the reset counter and if it works? I'm not sure what you mean, but because I think that's what I just did when I printed the reset works. So reset works. What does the first if statement do? The one with if start time.length equals end time.length. Yeah, what that does is, I mean, this is so complex because there's so many parts to this that needs to also be explained, because I don't think unless you've watched all the streams, you won't necessarily, it's going to be hard to explain this, but the idea is that the user will open up a task like this, and then they might start the timer. And then after a while, they're like, oh, actually someone's knocking on the door, so they pause, and then they go open the door, and then they talk to that person, they come back, and they're like, okay, I'm going to continue, and they press play. And I wanted to keep track of all those start times and stop times so that we can then track breaks as well for the user, so that we know, like, okay, the user has taken this many breaks, and this is how long each break was, and this is the average time that you took a break on. If that makes sense, maybe every day at 11 AM I'll take a break, and that might be useful information at some point for the user. So this if statement then checks if the start times is equal to end times, which means that we have the same amount of start times as we do end times, and each start time is one press of the play button here, and then an end time corresponds to I mean, I'm getting tired now, and like it's difficult to explain things clearly, but when I press play and then when I press stop, the time in between the play and the stop is the time that I spent working. And so I need to keep track of start times and end times. And so, and if I have a start time but I don't have an end time, then the user hasn't pressed stop yet, or I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope it kind of makes sense. Okay, you get it, you understand. Perfect. Are your widgets stateful? Yes, they're stateful. So the time setter is a stateful widget, and the time tracker widget, so this one that actually resets it, is a stateful widget up here. This is Dart, the Dart programming language. Does start timer work? Yeah, the start timer works. Yeah, I was thinking that, but the thing is I print the time, the date time. So if I press this button now, you can see that we still get 7:34. So the date time, which is this one that I do reset here, that doesn't update for the actual time setter thing. So yeah. Well, this works. I have no experience in Flutter, but I found something. What? I do print the time variable. So, okay, I'm restarting and then I press task and then I say set the color for it. And then I set a time to be 8, let's say 8 AM. And then when I press save, I don't print the time variable, but here you can see the time variable that started out, which is 1:41, which is what the time is right now. And then when I press save, this will reset. Now that didn't reset. Why didn't that reset? But anyway, if I press 8, I then print the new date time, which should have been again this time. Or 1:42 it should have said. But it says 8, which is the time that we set before. But it seems like the whole widget doesn't really reset. I'm just gonna try something. I mean, this is probably pretty bad and it's not what you're supposed to do, but we're gonna see what happens when we do that. So we're present task and we space, do that. We set the time to be 7 AM and then we press save. Okay, then we pull this up. Nothing freaking happened. But I don't really understand because now this thing stays here, which I don't know why it does. So this time is up to date. It turns out, I just realized. So is there a way that we can do it by using that time? Time setter widget. Okay, so clock. Compare time of day now to selected date and print hello if the times are equal. Wait, what? Show time picker, context, what? Cal, you update your Mac OS. Do you ever get certificate related errors? Yes, all the time. Svelte is also good alternative. Yes, Svelte is good. You should look into the provider pub package to manage state. I think it could help you out a lot. Owen Codes, nice to see you here. Did you have a good midsummer? Yeah, I had a good midsummer. Is your widget able to access state within its scope? I'm not sure if it's able to access the state within its scope. Why doesn't the state names and reset, and also where the state is created? All right, I don't know how long we've been going for. 3 hours and 43 minutes. I feel like I need to take a break right now. Yeah, set state should run, I think. Well, we can print. Print hello. I feel like I've done this like 10 times now, but I mean, it should run. Task, space, blah blah blah, da, hello, it runs. Yeah, the Patreon stuff is still up. Why doesn't the state names, oh wait, way to go. Can you check if the state even runs? Yeah. So I feel like I'm just running into a wall right now, and I'm very, very hungry. So I need to eat something and get back to it tomorrow, I think. Because I feel like I almost have no energy to even try to figure this out at this point. But we did make a bit of progress today, and the colors for the tasks now works. I hardly remember what we did, but we worked a lot on trying to get this package to work, which doesn't work as far as I can tell, and it doesn't work for the project that I want to build specifically. And then we just fixed some bugs to make sure that everything saves the way that it should, and this is what it looks like. There's a lot of tasks in this list now because we've tried to bug fix, but I think we're making a fair amount of progress. This Vim game seemed pretty interesting, so if you're interested in like learning Vim, then I think this might be a good place to learn that. And yeah, I'm gonna come back tomorrow more fresh, hopefully, and see if we can get this bug fixed, because right now I just don't know how to. I can barely speak. I'm so tired and hungry, so I need to eat and do something else, read and just relax for the afternoon. But thank you so much for joining me on the stream, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you tomorrow.